When children arrive and depart from your program by school bus, it's really important to partner closely with the bus driver. Each driver should perform a visual walkthrough where they're scanning and counting the number of early learning children that are on the bus before the children are allowed to get off the bus. The receiving staff, and that would be you or one of your colleagues, should ask for that number, and as the children are stepping off the bus, you're also scanning and counting in order to verify the number that the driver gave you. So when all the children are off the bus, you're going to check in with that driver and make sure that those numbers correspond, that the number that the driver reported to you is the same number that you counted as children got off the bus. And then you or one of your colleagues is going to actually get on the bus and do your own visual walkthrough. You are going to walk the full length of the bus and making sure that you're checking under the seats and each row to make sure that every child has gotten off of the bus. So you're really going to get your exercise every day, but at the same time, we're going to make sure that all children have arrived safely and nobody is left on the bus. Okay. So you've accounted for all the children that were on the bus, and now you're off and on your way to the classroom. But what about the child that usually rides the bus but wasn't one of the riders today? If you've already heard from the family, then your work is done. You know that the child never got on the bus. If the driver tells you that the parents came out to the bus to let them know that the child is sick and wouldn't be at school, then you know that the child did not get on the bus. But when you've not received word from the family or the bus driver, one early learning staff member should immediately call the transportation department to verify that the child wasn't transported on any of their vehicles. And then the next call would be to the family to check on the status of that child. At the end of the day, this all happens in reverse. The early learning staff member, again, that's probably you or one of your colleagues, scans and counts the number of children that are waiting for the bus and reports that number to the bus driver. Once all of the children are seated and buckled in, the driver will perform a visual walkthrough, scanning and counting the number of children and reporting that number back to you. If those two numbers are corresponding and you agree on the number, then the bus is ready to go and you can wave goodbye to all the kiddos. When children are transported to and from your program by parents or guardians, early learning staff are required to communicate with families and talk about the responsibilities for supervising the child at drop-off and pickup times. It's also important to clarify the responsibilities of supervision for that time period between the time that the parent signs the child out and while they're still on Head Start property before they actually get in the car or walk to the bus stop and they're off the property. So check in with your supervisor and make sure that the policies and procedures are clear at your site for these responsibilities.